Hello, you are watching Friday edition of eNEWS Bulletin of IPR Department with me, Cheering Eden, and these are some of the news making headlines. Starting with COVID-19 national figures. With 44,658 people testing positive for coronavirus infection in a day, India's active cases rose to 3,44,899 according to the Union Health Ministry data updated this morning. 496 fresh fatalities have been reported. The active cases comprise 1.03% of the total infections, while the national COVID-19 recovery rate was recorded at 97.63%. Meanwhile, India has set a new milestone with at least 50% of the eligible population being inoculated with the first dose of COVID vaccine. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia took to Twitter on Thursday to inform that 50% of the eligible population is vaccinated with the first dose of the vaccine. Cumulatively, 61.22 crore COVID-19 vaccine doses have been administered under the nationwide vaccination drive till this morning. Now the state affairs. Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang handed out checks to religious organizations, self-help groups, NGOs and individuals from the Chief Minister's discretionary grant at Saman Bhavan on Thursday. The checks were provided for various developmental and business purposes. The Chief Minister urged the beneficiaries to utilize the funds for this specific use and stated that the government is regularly providing funds for multiple purposes, primarily for medical treatment. Further, he added that the government will continue to assist individuals, especially those who are financially weak, and will render every form of support to improve the condition. District Collector South inspected NHPC Stage 3 hydroelectric power project at Lakeshep to assess the guidelines for public safety measures adopted by the public sector unit as stipulated by the High Court of Sikkim. He was accompanied by SDM Ravangla and other officials from Land Revenue and Disaster Management, Ravangla and the NHPC project. The DC South along with his team inspected the alternate road connecting dam site with Cusing, which is presently used by the residents of Tashiding to travel to Ravangla and Lakeshep. The team then inspected old PWD road at Nardang ward that connected Lakeshep Tashiding. The team inspected the dam site and powerhouse to assess the measures adopted for public safety. Following the inspection, necessary directions were given to enhance the public safety measures at the hydroelectric power project area. Chief Scientist of the World Health Organization Dr. Soumya Swaminathan has said that COVID-19 in India may be entering some kind of stage of endemicity where there is a low to moderate level of transmission going on. The endemic stage is when a population learns to live with a virus. It's very different from the epidemic stage when the virus overwhelms a population. The endemic stage of any disease is reached when a large section of the population becomes immune to a disease, either through vaccination or through antibodies acquired from a prior infection. At this stage, the spread of the disease starts to slow down. An endemic, however, does not mean infection doesn't happen. It simply means it doesn't cause widespread disease. Dr. Swaminathan suggested that although India would continue to experience ups and downs at a regional level, it's unlikely to see another overwhelming surge in infections like it saw during the second wave when patients suffered from acute shortages of hospital beds and medical oxygen. Her remarks come at a time when India has eased restrictions amid a fall in its COVID-19 caseload, but experts continue to advise precaution, saying the possibility of a third wave still looms. And given the threat of new variants and India's vast population, a timeline for when India actually reaches the endemic stage remains an open question. At least 60 Afghans and 4 US Marines were killed while over 100 suffered injuries in twin explosions near Kabul airport on Thursday, according to the Wall Street Journal. The initial blast was reported near Abbey Gate of the airport, while the second explosion occurred near Baron Hotel, where many people, including Afghans, Britons and Americans, were told to gather in recent days before heading to the airport for evacuation. Several U.S. Marines were killed and a number of other American military were wounded, a U.S. official said. The Islamic State Khorasan province, a group affiliated with the ISIS, has claimed the responsibility of the attack. The bombings came hours after Western officials warned of a major attack, urging people to leave the airport. However, the advice went largely unheeded by Afghans desperate to escape the country in the last few days of an American-led evacuation before the U.S. officially ends its 20-year presence on August 31st. In a sharp response, India condemned the bombings and said that the attacks reinforced the need for the world to stand unitedly against terrorism and all those who provide sanctuaries to terrorists. Despite the attack, the United Kingdom and NATO allies have said that the evacuation process at the Kabul airport will continue. However, they have said that the security would be beefed up to avoid such attacks in the future. It is feared that the death toll is expected to rise as more than 140 civilians are severely wounded. It has also been warned that further suicide attacks are expected at the Kabul airport in order to disrupt the evacuation process from the war-ravaged country. This is all we have for today. Please like and follow our Facebook page, that is the Government of Sikkim official page, for the most authentic news and information on recent developments in the government and the state. Please continue wearing masks and practice double masking in crowded places. Wash your hands regularly and maintain physical distance as our fight against COVID-19 still continues. COVID-appropriate behavior needs to be followed even after vaccination. In case you develop symptoms, please self-isolate and get tested within 7 days. Thank you for tuning in.